All right, my Question Pro friends, Ivana Taylor here, and I'm giving you a sneak peek inside of my brain of how I started brainstorming my survey plan. So like I said in this previous point, this is not perfect. This is just the rough draft. I've just been basically putting all my thoughts down on paper. So like I said before, I started with my objectives and I thought, okay, well, what do I know? I want to become the best experience. So then I said, what is the current experience? What's missing? And what are the high leverage experience creators that we can provide? So those are things I'm thinking to myself, you know, if I had the answer already, what would be included in that answer? And these are just some things I came up with. Now remember, this just might not be it at all, but it's just something to start with. And as you know, my favorite thing is to make decisions. So I thought, okay, I want to define success behaviors for selling our product, and what decisions can we make inside of the marketing department that will help them be successful. So I wrote down here, define what works and train everyone on the best practices. So there have to be some best practices for selling the product. And if we knew what they were, we could train everyone and they could be successful, almost like a turnkey selling process or system. Another thought I had was, well, we could define what works for sales contests and what motivates the group. We had already started this thing with sales contests, that we were playing with, and we just kind of wanted to see what was working and what wasn't working. And then, of course, we could use this information to recruit and train new distributors, which would make them even more successful. Then, of course, I started brainstorming on launching some things that's not important to what we're doing. So one of my things was, would be great to have tracking surveys. So I decided to look at employee engagement, right? Even though distributors really are their own companies, but in a lot of ways, since we distribute our product that way, they're in a way salespeople. And, I would probably think about rewording these Gallup questions in a way that might uncover some areas where we can focus as a company to improve their relationship with us as a distributor. Some questions will apply, some questions won't, but hey, I just copied and pasted them in here. I didn't want to forget them. Another tracking survey would be a customer engagement tracking survey. Well, that would be kind of cool, especially for those distributors for whom we are not the sole line, which means if you have distributors that carry multiple lines of product, you want them to sell yours. And if your product isn't easy to sell, they're just not going to do it. So that was another idea for a tracking survey. Again, these are the ones I pulled from the Gallup questions, but I may just change those to suit my purposes. Another idea I had was back to my best practices objective. I wanted to identify who were the top performers and who were the lower performers so that we can see what the top people are doing right and maybe take those best practice behaviors and use them in our training to help the lower performers. And then, of course, once I was on that, I'm like, well, geez, what is a success behavior? Are there things out there that I can track and ask them then if they do this behavior? And so I started brainstorming on that. Now you can see some of these, I wrote some things out as to what success behaviors are. And then I also started playing around with some survey questions. You could see I was writing, and then I started brainstorming some questions, writing, brainstorming some questions. I may use some, I may use all, I may use none. That type of thing. Of course, that made me think of technology. Maybe I can look and see what kind of technology they're using so that I can understand how they prefer to get information. The next thing I realized was, well, geez, I can also track pricing and value. I can also work with image, but then I thought I can also have some fun surveys, something that would get to know the audience better. And I am still not finished. You can see that I'm still working on this document. So there you have the secret sneak peek into how I was thinking about this and so far where I am in this process. Hopefully this will help you too. Of course, in the comments, why not let me know what kind of survey planning you're doing and how you do your brainstorming? Would love to hear that.